Welcome to the Global Businesswomen's Pod, brought to you by the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce. I am Susan Dyson and proud to be the CEO, President, and founder of the Chamber. Please join us for this empowering podcast every Thursday at 6 p.m.
So today, our goal is for you to discover during this session how you can optimize your profile and be found on and outside of LinkedIn. Also, to use the features section to highlight your other social media sites. You can host LinkedIn audio, build relationships, communicate in groups, create a free newsletter, and grow your brand. So I'm happy to have Marsha Hudson, brand strategist, online marketer, and consultant with us to provide you with this information. Marsha works with action-taking entrepreneurs and business owners to build a profitable brand, attract clients, and grow their business online. She's a retired professor, and she loves to empower business owners to build their dream business. So please help me welcome Marsha by introducing yourself in the chat. Please drop in your LinkedIn handle. We would love to stay connected with you. And without further ado, I would like to give the floor to Marsha.
Thank you so much, Ms. White. I have been too excited about being here today. And I want to thank you and the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce for finally getting me on. Now, we met a few times before we could get on, but I'm very excited because LinkedIn is my jam. And I'm just excited to share this training today and, move forward with helping these women entrepreneurs and empowering them to grow their own businesses. So I can bring up my screen and we can get started. Okay. All right. So we are rocking and rolling. I'm very excited. So I know in the advertisement we talked about 5 strategies. So you have 2 bonus strategies. So I'm going to go through them so I can get through them all. Save your questions to the end if you have any questions, and we can answer those. But let's dive in. So today I want to talk about 7 strategies to increase your impact and your influence on LinkedIn, because oftentimes my clients ask me, Marsha, how can I grow my business and make money on LinkedIn? Which is we all want to grow our business and make money. But before that, we want to increase our impact and our influence. And that's what will lead to making more money, getting speaking gigs, things like that on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my jam. I've gotten so many opportunities from LinkedIn from being consistent. And we are going to talk about that. So grab your pen, grab your paper, your favorite beverage, and let's get ready. So I want to let you know, because you're going to give me about 55 minutes today, but don't think of it as, oh my gosh, I got to give this time, I'm busy. Think of it as an investment that's going to help you down the road. So you're in the right place today if you want to know about the new LinkedIn, okay, and how to optimize for growth, because I've been teaching social media brand strategies since 2015. I am a consultant for the SBDC, and things have changed on LinkedIn. Things have really changed. And Ms. White told you I'm a former college professor. I did retired in December, and I used to tell my students, get on LinkedIn and put your resume, look for jobs. It's so much more to LinkedIn now. It has changed. LinkedIn wants to be in the social media game, not just the job hunting game. So you're in the right place if you want to use LinkedIn to increase your impact and influence. And I say that because that's what it has done for me. You're in the right place if you want to know what kind of content attracts decision makers. Decision makers are on LinkedIn. How to connect with people without sounding salesy. People don't really like that, but it's a way to take them down the funnel. So when they're at a place on their journey and they need you, then you can be ready to work with them. And how to use strategies that will get you found outside of LinkedIn. LinkedIn has become SEO now, search engine optimization. So this is a new LinkedIn. So if you're in the old mindset of LinkedIn, I hope that I'm going to change that today. So I was listening to Gary Vee, and if you don't know him, he is the king of social media. And he had me thinking about some things, and I wanted to share this with you. Just imagine, Okay. And if I've lost you already, I know we be multitasking. Come back to me. Just imagine having a full page ad in a magazine about your products and your services that hundreds of people will see for free. Because we have to pay money for magazine ads, okay? I see some of my friends are on here, and some of my awesome female entrepreneurs are on here, and they know this. And just imagine having a full page ad in a magazine about your products and your services, and hundreds of people get to see them, 10 people, 30 people for free. Having a commercial on TV about your business, coming on doing one of the most popular shows like doing Hallmark. I love Hallmark. Can you imagine your commercial coming on at that time when lots of women are watching Hallmark for free? Imagine having a spot on a radio show about your business, and hundreds of people are listening. Either they're in the car, and I'm listening sometimes on the treadmill, at home, for free. This is what LinkedIn will do for you, and for free. This is what LinkedIn will do for you for free. And so I hope that you think about this today as we go on. So the question to ask yourself is, do I want to increase my impact, my influence, and my income? Then why am I missing out on this free opportunity for my business? And many people say, I don't have time. I don't have this. I'm doing that. Well, thank goodness now you don't have to be on every day. You don't have to be everywhere. Just pick LinkedIn and go all in for the next 60 days. We're going to talk about that at the end. And stay to the end because I do have some free goodies for you. But I want you to think in those terms. So if you are not getting serious about LinkedIn, this is what it will do for you for free. So I'm Marsha Lynn Hudson, and I had to brand my whole name because it's another Marsha Hudson who's a brand strategist. And I didn't want people to mix me up with her, okay? And she's a photographer. So I had to brand my whole name. It is Marsha Lynn Hudson. And I love teaching people how to build a brand, how to build their business online, digital marketing, podcasting, YouTubing, whatever it is, not everything, but I love doing that. And I've been doing that since 2015 with the SBDC and now with other companies also. And one lady called me a serial entrepreneur. I was like, okay, I am an education consultant and I'm building up more on leadership, women in leadership. And so I have something coming down the pipe on that also this fall. And I started off as a professional photographer, and that's kind of what led me into social media. Around 2000, I was running gun. I built a successful wedding photography business. Now we do brand photography, headshot. But around 2015, things started to slow down. I'm like, what's going on? And it was social media. And so I got on the bandwagon to teach it to my friends, my photographer friends, but it just took off. It took off to other people asking me to teach it. And that's how I got into it. So yes, as a literature professor, I'm an author, a writer. I have a book coming out. Love YouTubing, podcasting, all of these things. And people say, do you actually have time to do other things? Yes. I enjoy walking and nature and yoga. In actuality, I actually enjoy creating this life and business that I love at this time of my life. And most of the time I can be found with a book in one hand and coffee in another. So for our agenda today, and I hope you have your pen and paper because I'm going to give you no fluff. This is going to be something you can start implementing, getting ready for July and August, okay? I got a 60-day challenge for it. So I want to talk about your auditing your LinkedIn. If you haven't done it in a while, if you haven't, really gotten into the new LinkedIn and audit and your profile and your banner, okay? Number 2, your about section. Things have changed, okay? The about section is not about your accolade. Number 3, LinkedIn audio, which is wonderful. Number 4, LinkedIn groups. We're going to talk about LinkedIn groups. Number 5, your content strategy. 6, LinkedIn newsletter. And 7, building relationships without sounding salesy. So these are the 7 tips I'm going to give you today. What if you got one idea today and you implemented it? Because we go to a lot of trainings, don't we? But you implemented it and it put you in front of your ideal audience, because that's what it will do. And sometimes we just need to believe in ourselves. Why can't it be us? Why is it that some other people are rocking it and killing it in their businesses month after month? Why can't it be us? Why can't we grow and take our business to a new level? Do we have struggles? Yes. Do we have challenges? Yes. Are some months down? Yes. Are some months us? But why can't it be us growing and moving forward? Believing in ourselves, pushing our limits, and doing whatever it takes to conquer our goals. And this is what one of my favorite platforms, which is LinkedIn, will do for you. So why should your company be on LinkedIn? Number one, it's going to increase your impact and influence for free. It's a given. There are over 900 million people now on LinkedIn. What if only 1,000 got to know you? You get to connect and build relationships with decision makers. What if you're a speaker or a coach or a service provider or content creator? You have a product, you can get speaking opportunities. So here's 3 blank boxes, okay? List 3 things. If you've gotten away from me, come back. List 3 things that you want LinkedIn to do for your business. Okay. I know we want to make money in our business, but list 3 things that you would actually want LinkedIn to do for your business, because we don't want to be on a platform, or we don't want to just be posting and doing something and nothing's happening. That's kind of frustrating, right? You're busy, you got things going on. But when we put down our actual goals of what we want, for some reason, the universe opens up and brings it to us. So list 3 things that you would want LinkedIn to do for you. Now, visualize that happening. Visualize that happening, okay, in a month or 2 or 3 or 6, the last 6 months of this year, or a year from now. I will tell you this: if you do something for 3 months, 2 months, 6 months, a year from now, you're going to be so much further with your goals and your business. Because when you visualize, you materialize. And it's not just for your business, it's for whatever you want for your life and your business. So let's move into the first way that we can start optimizing to build our impact and build our influence. So the first thing is your profile, which is your banner. That is your first impression. Okay. So I have a checklist that I needed to put in the chat, and then I'll put that checklist in later. But you can check to make sure that you have these things. Either you're on track with these things or you're going to get started with these things, okay? So the banner is your profile. Your banner can be used as real estate, all right? It represents your company. You can put your slogan there. You can put your website address. You can have an offering, a line that tells how you help your client. Now, the old way used to have that banner. It was that blue thing, and then people would put a picture or a nice little, a little image. Well, we want to use this as real estate now. We want to, LinkedIn wants to get into the SEO game, the search engine optimization game. They want to get in the social media game. You can Google it and read about it. They don't want to just be about jobs and resumes anymore. They want to get into the social media game. They want you to be found, because when you're successful, LinkedIn is successful. So you want to use your banner as real estate. Imagine, I live in Houston, Texas, and we have a big freeway, a 59 freeway, and it's busy, one of the busiest ones in Houston. Big billboards are all on that freeway. Think of your banner as a billboard on the freeway or wherever you live. Okay, so here are some examples of a banner, of putting different things on your banner. Okay, you can put a slogan on your banner. You can put your website on your banner. You can put an achievement, an icon on your banner, but not the blue thing. Okay, so think of your banner as a billboard where lots of people are coming through and they're seeing it every day. Okay, so think about that. And so if you're thinking, oh, I need to do that, you can create that in Canva in just a matter of minutes. If you go to Canva, and I gave a training on Canva to a group yesterday, as a matter of fact, if you go to Canva, and you can have the free version, and you type in LinkedIn banner, you'll get all of these templates for free. Well, then you go in and adjust it to what you want. Put your website on the banner, put your brand color on the banner, put your slogan on the banner, whatever. Think of it like that. So that's the first thing you want to do as you get ready to increase your impact and your influence. Secondly, you want to look for keywords that you can put under your name. This is a new thing, okay? And I have my phone and I'm looking here at mine. This is a new thing. So under your name, now, if you've gotten away from me, come back to me, okay? This is very important, okay? Use keywords that relate to what you do or what you offer. And I'm going to show you an example in a minute. Use keywords that are searchable by people that you want to attract. LinkedIn has gone over to what we call a SEO platform, search engine optimization. I know I keep saying it because I want you to resonate with it. Things have changed from 2015 when I started teaching this, 2016, 2017, just 3 months ago. So you can put a link, if you like, to an offer that you have. Maybe you've written a book, or maybe you have a bundle, or, you can put a link there. And then you can put a line that says how you help your ideal client. Because really, it's not about us. It's about them. And, I teach branding. I help entrepreneurs with branding. I help them with marketing. I help them with building their business online. And like you saw, Miss White said, I have all of these things. I've been teaching at the college, blah, blah, blah. I don't think people really don't care that much about that. They like that. They just want to know, Marsha, what can you do to help me grow my business? That's really what people want to know. So you want to put a sentence in there, in that space that lets people know. So here is an example, okay? An example of keywords under your name. So I just put a few from my industry. You would put a few from your industry. It's 900 million people on LinkedIn, okay? You want to be found. So I can put leadership consultant under my name. I can put trainer under my name, speaker, podcaster, because I want to grow my podcast, right? Brand strategist. I want to work with people who want to know, how can I build my brand? Because you don't build a business if you don't build a brand, okay? And branding and marketing, they're two separate things. That's another workshop, but they are. And then you can put a sentence showing what you do to help your ideal client. And so I could say, empowering women to crush barriers and create a life and business they love. Because that really is what I'm all about. So this is an example of what you can put under your name. Why? Because LinkedIn changed this to make it SEO friendly. And so when you see people who are doing it correctly, because I've been studying people on LinkedIn who are rocking it for the last 6 months, and they're rocking it because they're doing these new things, okay? So everything I'm teaching you today, I've been learning it, I've been training behind it, I've been studying it, and I've been doing these things myself. And I will tell you this, they work. They work. So I hope you take out some time to do some of these things. So that is the part on the banner and under your name. Okay, so check that out. Part two. Number two, your about section. This has changed also, okay? It's not about your accolades anymore. It used to be, you know, you would talk about how you've been in business 100 years or how you done this. It's not about that. Your about section is more of a storytelling type brand. LinkedIn has me on a platform where they ask questions, and I'm on their advisory board. Okay. And they'll send me a link and say, can you participate in this? Can you add? And because they want to know what can they do to make this platform more attractive to entrepreneurs like us. So one thing that they changed is the about section. Storytelling sales brands, you all. Think about it. Why do we like movies? It's storytelling. Why do we like TV shows? They're stories. Why do we like books? Storytelling sales brands, not stuffy, staunched, jargony business words. It's not about that anymore, but you can still show that you are a professional and there are other entities to you because people do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. So this section is not your resume or your credential section. You have a section in LinkedIn, and I know you know this, where you can put your experience and all of that. So you want to give a sentence that lets them know how you can help them. This is so important. The sentence on letting people know how you can help them. People want to know what's in it for me. I'm sure all of you awesome people who are on here today giving us 30, 40, 50 minutes of your time. You didn't come just because of my accolades or just because Ms. White and their awesome entrepreneur, and their awesome business or organization. That was a part of it. But you came because you want to know what's in it for you and how you can help your business and how you can get more business from LinkedIn. It's always about what they want. So let them know how your services will benefit them. All right. Let people know how you can make their lives easier, better, or stress-free. Give a sentence about your why. There are a lot of characters in that about section. And so you want to put like 3 or 4 sentences, space. 3 or 4 sentences, space. Don't put a big block. 3 or 4 sentences, space. 3 or 4 sentences, space. Remember, it's not about you. It's never about you. It's about what you do for them. Now, lastly, you can add some things about you, but don't let it be first. Okay. So the about section has changed. Now, I have to say, I used to do it the other way. I used to put everything about me first. I did. But when I learned how LinkedIn has made some changes, and when I learned that people are only going to give me a few minutes, I learned that storytelling in a conversational tone will at least have them stay a few minutes later versus me just talking about what I do. So put that on your checklist to check out your about section and make it a story. Make the sentences storytelling. And when I say that, people who are reading it, they're resonating with you. Okay, you have a few sentences about your why. You have a few sentences about how you help them. You have a few sentences about, your journey. You have a few sentences about, yes, you can put your credentials, but make it something where people are resonating with you, your ideal audience, and use everyday language. We don't have to be jargony and businessy. People are human. They're people. So here are some other tips. And of course, you could take screenshots for your about section. So I did a little research. And I went into a few other people that I work with, and I went into their about sections. That's a great activity, by the way. And here are some tips. So you can start with a captivating open sentence. It can be a question. It can be a story. Okay. You can clearly define your audience and use words that they resonate with. You know what your audience resonate with. You know what their pain points are. You know what their struggles are. You know where they want to go. You're the bridge. You're the bridge. And I think of myself when I'm working with clients or people contact me or they, want to get on a call with me. I'm the bridge from where they are now to where they want to be. I'm the bridge. So I need to use words that resonate with where they are now to where they want to be. Growth, right? Excelling, right? Success, right? I'm the bridge. Share a guiding principle or a core value that you have. You can add a personal touch to your about section. Some people put a testimonial in their about section. You don't have to add all of these, but you want to make it where it resonates with your ideal audience. It's something that it's like a story and they'll read it. Number 6, identify your strengths. You can talk about that and tell what sets you apart. You can include your professional expertise if you like, but just remember your about section is not your resume. It used to be. The tone should be conversational and engaging. So put that on your checklist. If you're like, okay, today is Monday, I have this week to really update and do an audit and make sure I'm on the right track for my LinkedIn. So here is one that's new, okay? LinkedIn audio. And I really like LinkedIn audio. You can tell I'm just really excited about the new LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn audio, I like to think of it as your radio spot for free. Your radio spot. Can you imagine having a spot on the radio and you have to pay quite a bit of money? But for this, it's free and you don't need LinkedIn Premium. That's another thing. You don't need LinkedIn Premium for any of this. So this can be like a radio show you have once a week, right? The time is up to you. You don't have to be on an hour. It can be 15-minute show, a 20-minute, a 30-minute. I know you're busy. And so you get to choose. That's one good thing about creating the life and the business we want. We get to choose. I don't meet clients on Monday. I get to choose. I work inside of my business on Monday. I do trainings like this. I meet clients on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I don't do business on Friday. That's Marsha Day. We get to choose. So nobody's saying you have to be on a certain time. You can invite guests on your show. You can have 1 or 2 experts on your, I like to call it your radio show. This is something new LinkedIn has added and is free. You're increasing your impact. You're increasing your influence when you host an audio. And the thing about it is free. It is easy. You can schedule it. And you know, if you want to know how to do that, of course, you can email me and get on a call and I'll let you know. But LinkedIn will notify all of your followers that you're having this show. So think about it. You have the mic. You have the mic for 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So you might say, okay, Marsha, what do I talk about? What do I say? That is totally up to you. I like to say, if you're going to have a LinkedIn audio and it's going to be 20 or 30 minutes, you set it up. And LinkedIn, you even have tutorials that show you how to set it up. Let's say you're going to have one Wednesday and it's going to be 9 a.m. You set it up on LinkedIn, the audio, and LinkedIn will send out an invitation that you're having an audio, a LinkedIn audio on Wednesday at 9. Well, then it may be on something from your industry. And I'll use mine as an example. I can have a LinkedIn audio on, and this is non-negotiable. How to grow your email list and grow your bank account. Email is non-negotiable. If you're not doing email, you're really leaving money on the table. So I could have a LinkedIn audio on 5 ways to grow your email list. What am I doing? I'm increasing my impact. I'm increasing my influence. What if 10 people hear it? What if 20 people hear it? What if the next day it stays on your feed? What if the next day somebody sees? So, I mean, you can record it and put it in other places. So you have the mic. Think about it. This is like your own radio show once a week. You might say, Marsha, I can't do that once a week. I'm busy. Well, then twice a month. But to skip it, you're really missing out. We're talking about increasing your impact, increasing your influence. Because that's what's going to lead people down what I call the sales funnel, to where when they're at a place on their journey, they're ready for you. See, people have to be at a place on their journey. And it doesn't start at the beginning, okay? This is not, it's like, okay, Marsha, I tried that for a week and it didn't happen. No, you have to be consistent. People are at the top of the journey when they first see you, they first meet you. You got to take them down the journey, the sales funnel. And that's what LinkedIn audio will do for you. It's new, it's free. At first, everybody didn't have that feature. You all have it now. Play around with it. Go to YouTube, look at a video because it's great. So number 4, we're talking about groups, okay? So join 2 to 3 groups or create a group, all right? So when I say groups, LinkedIn groups. Now, sometimes we join lots of groups, but we don't do much. Don't do that, okay? If you're going to really go all in on LinkedIn, you don't need to be on every site. That's another thing that's changed. Unless you have a team, and other people can help. It's very hard for a solopreneur to be on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I mean, how are you going to give your best? It's too much. So I tell people pick 2 sites, go all in, 90 days. If you want to add another one, fine. But pick your core site. Okay, one site is your core site. So if you are going to really go in on LinkedIn, I would say 2 to 3 groups or create a group. All right. So what happens then? You become a part of a community. It's been said in the social media realm, your net worth is your net network. Your network is your net worth. So your community becomes a group of people who know you and like you and trust you and will buy from you. Okay? They will buy from you. So it becomes your network. Your network becomes your network. Hundreds or thousands of people get to meet your brand. What if you're in a group? I'm in an educators group. And when I decided to get serious about being in the group, the educators group, and it's our educators and principals group. It's a lot of people in the group. And I post in there quite frequently now. I've gotten educators to reach out to me. I've gotten people to reach out and say, how can you help me with my brand? It wasn't what I was really looking for, but it came about. I just wanted to build a community, but there's so many other things. You become an industry name in a group. And I say 2 to 3 groups because you actually want to be active. If you join 5 and 10 and 15 groups, you don't even remember all of those. You want to be active. You can meet potential customers. And people, it's like I keep saying, people come to know and like and trust you. So when you create a group, or you like, Marsha, I don't have time to create a group, or you're in 2 to 3 groups, pick 2 to 3 groups where your ideal audience may be. And then I'll talk about in a minute how to create content, one piece of content, and put it in the same place. At the end, I'm going to give you a little schedule that I use, and I have a team now, and I have a social media assistant. I do have a team because I'm everywhere, but we do get together and talk about, what our strategy is for the week. Sometimes she posts, sometimes I post. If I go to LinkedIn and do this and post to my LinkedIn, post to my groups, it may take me 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So you can create one piece of content and put it everywhere. And here's a sample of groups. Okay, groups. So you can search for different groups and decide what groups you want to become a part of. Okay. So what to do in groups? All right. We connect and we build relationships. I was working with a client the other day and I said, now, you want to build relationship. You didn't meet your friend or your spouse or your husband, and then that was it. The next day y'all were married. Maybe some of you, but not many. You went on a date and you're like, okay, I kind of like this person's conversation. Then you went on another date. It's like, oh, okay, I kind of liked it. You went on a date. Then maybe you got engaged, you got married. Or maybe it's a girlfriend. I have lots of girlfriends. I love them. But I had to get to build a relationship with them. And we would go to eat. And then we would go eat again. Then we would go to the movie. It's the same. I don't know why people get on social media and think, let me post and that's it. It doesn't work like that. You have to build relationships. That's what make people want to work with you or connect with you. Connect and build relationships. So when you show up on groups, you put your company on the minds of others, right? You participate in groups and you become a human. You're not just a business. You become human. So what do? You comment on posts. You encourage and you motivate through your own posts. And I'm going to show some samples of that in a minute. You make connections, you communicate. It's just like face-to-face, but it's online. And it's wonderful because it can be people all over the world. Be a contributor. Give value, okay? Always contribute and give value. What happens? You start 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. You start creating impact and influence, and it attracts the right people. And I was telling Marilyn before we started, it was a company followed me for about 6 months before they contacted me, Clarify, to be a speaker on their platform. They don't just ask anybody to be a speaker on their platform. But this guy followed me. I noticed because he kept liking and followed for 6 months. What if I hadn't been consistent with building my brand before Clarify, his company, asked me, said he messaged me, can we get on a call? After 6 months. I see what you're doing. We have experts on our panel, and Clarify had me on their stage after 6 months. Okay. GoDaddy did the same. I've been on GoDaddy stage twice because I was in a GoDaddy group twice. This works, but you have to be consistent, and it leads to things. Sometimes you might have to do a complimentary speaking engagement. Sometimes you will get paid. Sometimes you will meet some influencers. Sometimes people will ask you to be on their podcast. There's so many opportunities. So your content. So you might say, well, Marsha, what kind of content do I post on LinkedIn? So I tell my clients when they ask me, okay, what do I post? That's one of the biggest things that people want to know for LinkedIn, social media, whatever. What do I post? I say, here are some questions to think about before you post. This is how you know it's a good post. Whenever you post to LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or a podcast or YouTube, whatever, all of its content, ask yourself, does this content give value? If it gives value, that's what you should post. Does this content solve a problem from your industry? If it does, that's a good post. Or does this content motivate? Because people need motivation and inspiration. It's a lot going on in the world. I love to open up my social media on a Monday and somebody posted an inspirational or motivational saying that says, do you ever feel like giving up? Because sometimes I do. Well, keep moving forward. Remember your why. I love that. We're people. And so if your content, if you say, yes, this is motivate, that's a good post. Does this content make people feel good or smile? Sometimes be light. On Fridays, I will post a lighthearted content, a piece of content sometimes. Does it make people feel good? Does it make us smile? It's not always just about business. That's a good piece of content. Does the content educate? Does it give tips or strategies or resources or tools from your industry? That's a good post. And does this content solve a pain point for my ideal audience or end a struggle? Can you imagine putting something up where it ends a struggle? And somebody's like, man, I've been having problems with that for 5 months. That post showed me step by step how to stop with that struggle. That's a good post. And these things let you know if you have a good post, and you never have to worry about what to post. So I hope you take a screenshot there. And so over the few years that I've been working with hundreds of clients since 2015, and in 2020, oh my gosh, I just sat here and worked with so many clients that the UH sent me. And I finally came up with some themes. And LinkedIn even says you can show up 2 to 3 days a week and build your brand. LinkedIn even says that. You don't need to be 5 days. It says 2 to 3. You can Google it because everything I talk about comes from research. So let's say you have a 3-day plan for LinkedIn because you're busy and so good it's just 3 days. You can do a motivational Monday post and you can do an inspirational quote. Tuesday tip. You can give industry updates or news or expert tips from your industry. Wednesday wisdom. You can share a link to a blog or your podcast or email, your website. It's wonderful, isn't it? Thursday, thought-provoking questions. What are some questions that your people are asking? What are some questions that you know your people have? One of the biggest ones of mine is, what do I post, Marsha? How do I grow my business? How do I build a brand? I know all of the questions. And so you should know that for your people. If you don't know, do a survey. Friday, success. You could do a success story. You could do personal reflection. Give book recommendations. Storytelling builds brand. But don't be over promotional. Yes, you can promote your services and products sometimes, but don't be overly promotional, okay? There are more aspects to people than just business. Be human, be likable, be social. I always tell people, don't take the social out of social media, okay? LinkedIn newsletter. Oh my goodness. I hope you have a pen. I hope you have some paper for this one. LinkedIn newsletter is a game changer. Okay. You really expand your increase and your impact and your influence with LinkedIn newsletter. And the good thing about it is you don't need premium, it's free. The newsletter, get this, opens the door for you to be found outside of LinkedIn. You become the business journal expert. I mean, you create a newsletter in minutes. You can use ChatGPT or AI and you share it to your page. It's free. And all of your followers are notified. So in other words, you set the stage for being asked to get on podcasts. You set the stage for being asked to get on stages. You set the stage for being asked to be a speaker because you become like this business journal expert. You create one piece of content on something that your audience wants, upload it to your LinkedIn newsletter, and bam, so many people see it. This should really be a part of your strategy. Okay. And if you're like, well, how do I do that? You need to contact me because it can take you 5 minutes to do a LinkedIn newsletter. And now every week you have a little newsletter up there's like a blog. And the good thing about it is it's searchable outside of LinkedIn. Isn't that wonderful? And the reason why I say people ask you to be on their podcast because it happened to me. People start asking you to speak on their stages because it happened to me. One lady wants me to talk to her about being a contributor on her newspaper, and I'm supposed to meet with her this week from LinkedIn because it's happening to me. Everything I'm telling you today is happening to me, and I started from scratch. And I will tell you this, I've been really consistent on LinkedIn for a year. Before that, I wasn't consistent. I was in and out. I wasn't. So I'm just going to be truthful with you. I've been consistent on LinkedIn now the whole 2022 and 6 months in 2023. And so much has happened. Before 2022, I was not consistent or serious about LinkedIn. The last point as we wrap up. Now, we talked about posting and what to do, making connections and building relationships. This is the part where people start asking you to, can you work with me? Can you help me? What do you do? This is the part. After you've done the 6, you got to be a relationship. So what do you say to a new connection without sounding salesy? Have you ever, and I know some of you have you ever made a connection with somebody on LinkedIn and the next thing you got is a message they trying to pitch and get you to buy something? Oh my gosh, that is such a turnoff, right? Don't do that, okay? Please don't message a new connection and try to sell or pitch to them when you first connect. build a relationship with them. And then a few weeks down the road, you can see if they're in need of what you offer. Service first, sales second. So what can you say? You can say something like, thank you for connecting with me. I'm always excited to meet other professionals. You can say something, you can find some common ground and say, I noticed that we both, whatever, go to their page and see. You can show interest and say, I'd love to know more about your work or your journey. How did you get started? You see what I'm saying? Then you can extend an invitation, say, let's stay connected. I often share valuable tips, things like that. This is what you do to a new connection. Okay? I hope you take a screenshot. Often I have people when they want to connect, I accept. The next thing I get is something about, we're doing this. You want to talk about this? We're doing this. And it's a sales pitch and we know it. And nobody really likes that. What if you talk to me in a regular way or a normal, and maybe 3 weeks down the road or 2 weeks after you say, oh, well, we're having this, you may want to come. I'm more open to that. So this is what you do when you're building connections and building relationships. And I know you get people who do what I'm saying. They just right away, they send you that, don't do that. So here's an action plan for LinkedIn. And this is actually what LinkedIn says. I'm on the advisory board and they ask me, surveys and stuff. Post to LinkedIn 2 to 3 times a week. Be consistent, because everything that I'm telling you, it will not work if you're not consistent. Use one piece of content for everything. You don't need to come up with a lot of different content. Post before 10 if you can. Sometimes I post later. I would say make 5 connections at least one day out of the week. I was on a training when I was trying to build my LinkedIn, and this guy said, your word is connection. You need to make connection. And you want to engage with people at least 2 times a week. So this doesn't take a lot of time. Okay. The key to growing your business is to be active and show up. So as we get ready for questions, I like sayings. All you have to do is decide. All you have to do is decide. Sometimes we've been talking about something for the whole year. We're 6 months in. Have you been talking about, I need to get serious on LinkedIn, and it's 6 months. I need to get serious on LinkedIn, and it's 5 months or a year. All we need to do is decide. When you think about how you're putting yourself in front of many, many people for free, I think you'll look at it in a different way.
Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you again next Thursday at 6 p.m. For more information about the Chamber and our podcast, please visit us at GHWCC.org.